Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. This video is the first showcase of the database I have been working on for the past several months. I have been very busy lately, and I thought it may be better to show you a little bit of the current state of the database before I make more videos on how things work internally. So here, we have a new Java class called person. To begin with, a person has a name, an age, and a country. We'd like to use this class as a collection in our database, so we use the collection annotation on top of it. Also, we use field annotation on top of fields as well. Our fields are also indexed. For example, the name field should be unique, the age field can be duplicated, and the country can be duplicate with low cardinality. I have mentioned the difference between these indexes in previous videos. Also, since we can't run a query on collection fields that are not indexed, for now, all of the fields are indexed. While this process can get automated later, currently we have to manually convert each model to a collection object. After that, we create an instance of Database Context Configurator class, where we define engine configuration and scheme. In engine configuration, I only set the database path to a temporary directory. For the scheme, I set the version of the scheme, database name, and the collections registered in this scheme. The version can later be used for scheme upgrades. Next, using this configurator, I get a database context instance. Through that, I can access collection operation instance for collection of my choice, in this case the person collection we saw earlier. Our first operation is insert, and we pass a person object we have built to the operation. Once our insertion is over, we count the objects on the database without limiting it using a query, and as you see, the count equals to 1. Next, we create two instances of person class, with different names, ages, and countries. If we add a query for countries that equal to FR, for France, we only get 1. Same thing happens if we change to query to countries that equal to DE. We can also change the database field name, but keep the Java's class field name. So this time, instead of counting the objects, we try to select them as a list. Then we print the size of the list and the items inside the list. We face an error here because during deserialization process, instances of person class are generated using a default constructor. So let's go ahead and add a constructor with no arguments. While we are here, we also add a toString method as well. Now we run the code again, and as you can see, we got the proper count and object. We can also use an OR operation in our query and say, we want either people with country code equal to DE, or the age should be greater than 15. This condition applies to both of the objects in our database, so if we run the code, the count should be 2 and we should see person2 object as well. Additionally, we should also be able to use AND operation, but that shit has a bug sometimes, and right now we see no results. If I add one more person that matches the query, we no longer expect 0 count. So person 3 has both of the conditions, and as you can see, it works fine. Also, we set the name as a unique index, so if we add a person with name Rose twice, we get an error. I will improve the error message later. Indexed fields normally don't accept null either, and if you try it, you will face an error. So let's say the country code field is nullable, and pass the country as null in third person. If we change our query to where the country code is null, the count would be 1, and we see the third person in the list. Now let's move on to our next operation, update. We can query for all of the persons where country code equals to null, and update the country code to RO for Romania. We get the output of how many objects got modified because of this update operation, and if we select the same query again, the count would be 0. If we don't pass query to our operations, in this case the update operation, then it will affect all of the objects in the database. So this code will update all 3 person objects and set the country to IN for India. At last, we can also perform a delete operation and remove any person with age less than 20. After executing this operation, we remove one person from the collection. As you see, person 1 had age less than 20. So that's it for this first showcase. Let me know what do you want to see next, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. As you see, there is still work left to do, such as bug fixings and certain other tasks listed in the README file. Hopefully, I will make videos on the promised topics soon after I finish debugging. Anyways, see you in the next video.